This is the third video in the Project Divi series. We've already done an overlook of the bike before we started making changes, taking some stickers and some tank pads off. We've then changed levers, and now we're on to that monstrosity. As you will see on all bikes these days, the style is to have a nice thin, short, pointy tail, but unfortunately the law requires for the number plate to sit behind the rear wheel. That is the law of making the bike, that is not the MOT as in road laws. So you can stick it up here and it's absolutely fine, I believe. So to get rid of this hunking great big thing, I contacted R&G and they have hooked me up with a tail tidy for this bike for the review. There's not a lot to it really. That whole thing there gets replaced by this little thing. Is that not going to be better? I think that's going to be a lot better. They supply a light, because you've also got to have an illuminator on your plate, and you've got all the bolts and nuts and things and different fixtures for the indicators, because you've got like the blanks to, where am I? You've got the blanks that can fill these holes in depending on what indicators you have. So this is pretty universal for this bike. So go to R&G's website or give them a call or whatever, and just tell them what bike you have. You can go and put your make, model and year, and then they'll find the tail tidy for you. Nice. It should be nice and simple. Only one thing. As you may know if you watch my videos, this is the first sports type bike that I have owned, and I have never done tail tidy. How hard can it be? So pop the seat off. Okay, well looking at this, I've also got this plate and these four, which is holding on the tail tidy, and then the wires will hopefully become more apparent once I start taking these bits off. Though I might just take off the side panels as well, because I've got a feeling that's going to make my life a lot easier. As I say, I may not need to actually take all of this off, but I'm just going to do it because it's only 2 screws and a few clips for each side, and then I'm going to have a lot more access and I'll be able to see everything a lot better. From different bikes it might be really simple to just switch them straight over. There's some clips under here. I'm going to assume these are push clips. Yep. So you just push them in and pull them out. See that? When they go in, they're like that, and then you just push the hole in, and it allows you to take them out. This one's a bit weird. It actually looks like a screw, so I'm going to use a screwdriver. And yeah, sure enough, it's a twist, and it comes out. And that will just pop off. Nice. So this side next. There we go. Well, I can certainly get to all of the electrics now, so let's... Oh yeah, these are going to be... tight! If you're trying to undo a really tight Allen, make sure you get the Allen right to the bottom. There we go. Just needed a bit of leverage. Damn it, right. Thank you, brother, for leaving your toolkit here, because you're going to save my butt on this one. Yes, awesome. Where's my ratchet? It's better. Awesome. You shouldn't be too worried about doing stuff like this yourself, because it's all nuts and bolts. As long as you sort of keep track of what goes where, you can just take bits off and have a good look around and see what you need to do. Okay, so that's got the tail light out of the way. There's wires going through underneath, and they appear to come out from underneath here. That's a push button. Right, come out. Yep. Come on. Yep. Plate comes out. Here's the cables. And they will go into there. Awesome. Okay, so all the cables have come up and through and come out of here. Now, these are shared. I have to say, I do hate these rubber covers because you're always going to see what you're doing, but there is a joint one here, which must be the negatives for the indicators, and then you're going to have a left and a right. So that's easy to work out, but this one, if I disconnect one of these, the illumination of the plate should go out, hopefully. Has it? It has, which means that is... Alright, so if I disconnect both of those. Right, so blue and black is the tail illuminator. And then we can work out what these ones are. We know that the commons go together. So, it should all come out now. Oh God. Yeah. Look at the size of that thing. Horrible. Utterly horrible. Right. Right, so now we take the tail tidy and it just fits underneath into the hole of the old one. See? There you go. And then you have to use the... It even stays there. The nuts and bolts provided. Is there enough of them? Yeah, there is. What else have R&G sent us? Some stickers. I actually have some of those anyway. Instruction manual, you don't really need that. Here's the tail illuminating light kit. That belongs to the tail light, so I'm going to pop that back in that hole just to remove any confusions. You can actually do that with all your bolts if you want, and then you won't ever get confused as to what goes where. But it's not too difficult. So we've got four nuts. 4 big washers, so is there 4? Yeah, there is. These are nylocks, which is quite nice. Oh, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing here. Not on this camera anyway. There we go. So I've just popped these through. I'm putting the washers on the other side and starting off the nut. Unless you're doing it on this exact bike, it's going to be different per bike that you do, but generally it's the same sort of setup, you know. 4 bolts and wires, nothing too bad. And thread on the washer. Here's a little bit of a tip: if you're trying to get a nut over these bullet connectors, you can then go both through. Don't try and do them both at once. Line them up like that, and you just go over the load of them. Easy. Now I'm going to get all this lined up again. Right, so I've got the positive going to the positive, I've got the negative going to the negative, and now, in theory, perfect. Apologies, there's been a slight change. Basically, I came to the conclusion that those little indicators were too short and the cables weren't long enough, and then I discovered because I'm using resistors, those cables weren't long enough, so I've ended up extending the resistor cables just until I get the relay, because once I do that I can just put these cables directly over into here if they'll fit, which they might not, and I can get rid of the resistors and everything, but this is just to get it work for the time being. It's going to be nice and easy to change that, because once everything's back on, those cables are easy to get to. So we've put this on, we've put the indicators on, forget the bit in between, mine's tricky. It'd be easier if I just had the right things. Now we're just going to put on the light. So you get this little bag with this little light. It's got screws and bits and pieces in it. It says something about super gluing something, and I'm just going to wing it, okay? I always just wing it. I'm sure it'll be fine. And I'll work out what they were talking about along the way. Okay, this is what they were talking about, super gluing. This is the plate illumination light, and this little shroud thing just pulls off. So you install this, and then you can stick that over the top. But let's just get this in, because this will be nice and easy. So you just push the light on through the holes, and then do up these tiny fiddly little nuts. No. Oh. one of these has got to be the right size. These are radio control car tools. They're tiny little spanners and awesome for things like this. Is that the right size? It only well is as well. These don't need to be done up super tight. I would like to have seen some plastic tubing on these, or some supplied, so I could use some plastic tubing so that, you know, the red and the black's not seen. Then you could just use heat shrink. It's just, you know, it'd be nice if you included that, but it's not really that big a deal. These LEDs, so they're going to work one way and not the other way, and I don't know what was positive and negative, although that one, black is negative always, generally, so I'll assume that that's right. So that should now turn on, please. Yes! So we have left, right, and the lights on. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So far, everything with the tail tidy, fitting it on with the 4 bolts, putting the indicators on, and then putting the little light on, that's all been easy. The only bit that's caused me a load of strife is all the electronics, because I don't have quite the right this, that and the other. But we're making do for today, and so when I get the other bits in, it'll be nice and easy because it will just be take the tail off. Is at this point that I realise that the bolts actually go through the tail light, so I have to undo all 4 of those and switch them over. I've got the resistors just tucked up here for the minute. As I say, as soon as I get the opportunity I can just hook all those out, change the relay and just stick the cables together. But it is all on, the light is working. I'm just going to double check that everything is working as should be. Left, right, and the plate illuminator, perfect. So there we go, that's all done. That was actually really, really easy. I'm really impressed with the kit. R&G, really nice. Everything fitted perfectly. All the parts I could possibly need were there. Everything from their side of it was perfect. I don't think this would have taken much more than 20-30 minutes to do had it not been for the fact that I ran into the problems with indicator cable length problems and the resistors, and, you know, just to remind you, we've gone from this sitting out, you know, this far to like back here. Everything's scooted up, and it's actually, yeah, the back wheel now sticks out slightly further than the tail, and with the suspension that's not going to hit, so awesome. R&G, really good. Having said that, not surprised because you make brilliant stuff. Thank you very much for supplying that for the review. Links in the description if you fancy doing something like this to your bike. It really does make a lot of difference.